Well, hi everyone. We're starting a new devotional series titled Pointers to Jesus, Knowing Christ Through the Old Testament. In John 5:39, Jesus says, "These are the very scriptures that testify about me." Now, Jesus said this before the New Testament was written, so he is speaking of the Old Testament. You know, there are hundreds of verses in the Old Testament that point to Jesus. Lots of books have been written on this. One of my sources I'm using is a series from Gospel and Life called Pointers to Christ. In fact, the very first graduate level seminary class I took was on this topic. Each week we're going to look at a passage from the Old Testament that points us to Jesus. And today we're going to look at a passage you may not think about pointing to Jesus. It didn't for me at first. It comes from Ecclesiastes. Now, we don't have time to read the whole book, so I'm going to just read select verses from chapter 2, verses 15 to 16 and 24 to 26. Then I said to myself, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? I said to myself, this too is meaningless. For the wise, like the fool, will not be long remembered. The days have already come when both have been forgotten. Like the fool, the wise too must die. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. But to the sinner, he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth to hand it over to the one who pleases God. If we go back to the very beginning of Ecclesiastes, it says the words of the teacher. So this is coming from a teacher. And it's really a dismal view of life. People don't understand the teaching style. This is a teacher who is making you think. And what does he see? Looking at a wise life and a foolish life, in the end, there's no difference at all. Why is the teacher telling us this? The teacher is looking at the big picture. The teacher is helping us see that without God, everything we do in life is meaningless if this is all there is. You must see that what life is like without God in order to point you to God. You know, why did Jesus minister to people who were in despair with such tenderness, but not the religious leaders? You see, the teacher's job is for you to know that you are sick in order that you would seek to get better. Why do problems of this world bother us so much? It's a pointer to God, to get us to look beyond this world, to long for something more, something better, something greater. Further, the teacher wants us to see that everything is from God. This is a pointer to the gospel. What the teacher is really saying is if you don't know that God loves you, then you are going to continue to strive and toil to try to fill that hole. And it'll always be about you. See, the pointers are not just to God, but to Jesus. We read in the scriptures that Jesus is the true king, the true priest, the true prophet, and Jesus is also the true teacher. Jesus is the teacher who came to show us the meaninglessness of life without him. Everything is meaningless compared to knowing Jesus. You know, maybe one reason why things are not going right in your life is the teacher is forcing you to look at the big picture, to look at all of eternity rather than just living your life the way you want to for your own self-purposes. Maybe the teacher is trying to get your attention. You know, why is it that sometimes life stinks? You know, we can say that Jesus is first, but in our hearts, we still make other things the meaning of our life, like our career or looks or family. We may know everything is meaningless compared to knowing Christ, but deep in our heart, there are still things in our life that we are making our treasure other than Christ being our treasure. We need Jesus to come along and say, life is meaningless apart from me. Jesus is making you thirsty so that you will thirst for Jesus instead of whatever else you are seeking that is making you feel dry. See, the teacher of Ecclesiastes is pointing us to the ultimate teacher. And everything will be meaningless without Jesus as your treasure, worth, and joy.